It's time for another episode of Habs Bites, gathering up Habs media stories and commenting on them. In today's video, Habs birthdays. Why so long to sign Coach Marty?
Sign up Coach Marty, a great coach. We don't want another Dom Ducharme again.
How injured was Shea Weber? Coach Marty refuses to answer a reporter. A change to everyone's draft order. Did Habs offer Mailloux a contract? Could the Habs sign David Perron? And how the Habs could trade up at the draft. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, let's lead off with the Habs birthdays. So former Habs Larry Robinson and Russ Courtnall, they both shared a birthday yesterday, because these were all from yesterday, June 2nd. And also Jake Evans. Jake Evans shares a birthday with those guys. Larry Robinson turned 71. Russ Courtnall turned 57, and Jake Evans turned 26. So happy birthday, Big Bird, Russ Courtnall, and Jake the Snake Evans. Why did it take so long to sign Coach Marty? So Coach Marty obviously finally signed a new contract the other day. Coach Marty signed a new contract the other day after a month of speculation about why it was taking so long and rumors about him looking elsewhere to coach, which were just ridiculous. So we now know what took so long. The answer is that Coach Marty was on vacation. He was on vacation with his family, and also Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes were both preparing to scout at the World Championships, and were in Europe to do that, so that didn't help. And it's now done. And everyone, I'm really happy about that. And actually, I didn't really have a doubt that it would happen, and I didn't think he was looking to coach elsewhere. That I thought was ridiculous. And it doesn't matter now because it's done.
At coolhockey.com, you'll find your favorite team's officially licensed jersey. Blank, pre-sewn, or hand-sewn. Your favorite team, your favorite player's name and number on the back. Or hey, put your own name on the back. Competitive pricing, custom stitching, fast shipping. Coolhockey.com. Tell them Talking Habs sent you. Click the link in the description of this video. Coolhockey.com.
How injured was Shea Weber last year's playoffs? So Byron finally reveals the extent of the damage to Shea Weber, and it's worse than we thought. It's pretty bad, actually. So in a recent interview, Habs Paul Byron reveals how injured Shea Weber really was during the 2021-22 playoffs. And it's kind of like, it's amazing that Weber was able to dress for the games, never mind play as well as he did, because he played pretty good, man. So here's what Paul Byron said. I have that right here. Honestly, I don't even know how he managed to play. He broke his thumb blocking a shot late in the season. I remember that. We thought his season was over, but he was adamant about playing. Plus, he had knee, hip, and ankle injuries. He played with a broken ankle for so long, it did a lot of damage. That was, I believe, the season before. I'm just going to read the quotes. Everybody wanted to win for him and for Carey Price. We wanted to give everything for them. You never know what you're going to go through, when you're going to go through that again. Careers go by so fast. It seems like yesterday was my first NHL game, but it's been over 10 years. You never know how many years are left in your career. And Brendan Gallagher says, I feel terrible for him and for Price. We wanted to win for them. They did so much for us, and we would have liked to do more for them. So we knew about the thumb that happened not too long before the playoffs. We knew about the ankle the season before, that we thought his season was done, and he came back, I don't forget how many games later, and finished the season. And we knew about the other injuries too. We just didn't know how extensive, but we knew he was hurt. But I mean, I don't know how Weber played. Anybody thinking that this guy's going to come back from those injuries, just that ankle injury, like Byron said, he played for so long on that, what was a broken, a fractured ankle, that he did a lot of damage in there. And I don't know that he comes back from that. So, you know, I think you're fooling yourself if you think that Weber's coming back. But at least now we know what his injuries were. Next up, Coach Marty. Marty St. Louis refuses to answer a question from Francois Gagnon of the Press newspaper. I wrote here, Coach Marty refuses to answer a reporter's question. During his presser, this was after signing and he had a little press conference. So during that, Coach Marty was asked a useless personal question that to me has no relevance at all to the Habs situation. Right? I mean, sure, we want to know we want to know because we're curious, but I don't. Anyways, here's the exchange between them, and I'll read what I wrote after that. So this is Francois Gagnon. If I may add another question, I'll play devil's advocate for everyone. As a player, the salaries are known. As a coach, it takes half a day to find out before there's a leak of secret information. And you know, secret information, are you ready to lift the veil right away and say how much you signed for? Marty St. Louis just said, nope. And that was it. Okay, Francois Gagnon said, and he walked away from the mic. He had asked his questions. So he refused to answer. Not refused like it was a bad thing, but he refused to answer. Marty St. Louis refuses to lift the veil on the salary obtained for his 3-season contract at the helm of the CH. It's fair game. It'll come out in the next few hours, but initial speculation suggests it would hover between $2.5 to $3 million per season. He wrote that. Player salaries are made public, but coaches don't have to be. It's not required. Players, it's required. So it's not a Gagnon's business. And it's not important to the grand scheme of things. And I love how Marty answered me. I really do. And it's just, that's a nosy question for, like he said, he could find out later. Why does he have to make him say it now? It's his personal business. If you don't have to reveal it, and they don't have to, why are you going to go around bragging, oh, I made this, I made that? Marty St. Louis is not that type. Next up. Get the right one. Small change in the Montreal Canadiens picks for the next draft. That's very vague and kind of misleading, but it's accurate. But it's not just Montreal. There will be a change in all picks after 56 overall. Minnesota GM Bill Guerin decided to release 2018 first-round pick Philip Johansson after being unable to sign him, entitling them to a compensatory second-round pick in this year's draft. Because Johansson was drafted 24th overall in the first round, the Wild will get the 24th pick in the second round. 32 in the first and 24 in the second means the Wild get the 56th overall pick. This means there will be 33 picks in the second round, and every pick that was from 56th overall right to the last pick of the draft will get pushed back one spot in the overall picture. This affects every team, not just Montreal. This will be the first time, I believe, in 8 years since it was either last happened or since the rule was put in place, because I don't really know which one that is. Didn't say it in the article, but it's been 8 years since that happened, or this is the 8th year, whatever. Kent Hughes currently has a disguised trade offer on the table for Logan Mailloux, also misleading and vague. Okay? There's a couple of other little stories about the same thing, saying it in a different way, all at the same site. I think it's Habs Fanatics. I wrote here, Habs give Logan Mailloux a bona fide, in quotation marks, offer to avoid losing his rights. Already a controversial name to talk about. Here comes some more. GM Kent Hughes recently said the team would not be making a contract offer to Mailloux. Now, this is kind of, I don't know, because depending what story you read, he did say they were going to or they're not going to. I don't know. That's 100% clear, to be honest with you. As the GM wanted to evaluate the player's progress as a person, not a player. With all the stuff that we won't go into it here. If Montreal doesn't make the offer and don't sign him during the summer, or I'm not sure if they have to sign him, but they have to make the offer, at least that, because I'm not sure what happens here. They lose the rights to him and receive a compensatory second-round pick at next year's draft, as is happening with Minnesota, as I just said, and Philip Johansson at this year's draft. The thing is, with Johansson, there was 4 years drafted to when they had to sign him. Mayu was drafted like 2 drafts ago, so it's not 4 years. I think they have to make the offer so they can retain his rights. He can not sign, but they retain his rights, and he can maybe kind of like what we were worried about with Jordan Harris doing, if he doesn't sign after 4 years, and we get the second round compensation like Minnesota's getting right now. It's kind of murky. I'm not sure exactly, but in saying that, Hughes saying he wouldn't make an offer, comes the word last night that they did make an offer, that bona fide offer. So late last night, I'm filming this on the 3rd of June, so this was last night, June 2nd. There was an announcement that the Habs had made a bona fide, keep doing the quotation, offer with no further details about it. The Habs retain his rights, therefore, and will either develop him or either trade his rights away or sign him and eventually trade him. Like that's the options they have now. So they don't lose him for a second round pick. That's the disguised trade, is that if they don't sign him, they'll get a second round pick in a couple of years. Right? But you might be able to trade his rights for a first round pick. That's a possibility. Could the Habs sign winger David Perron for the first line with Suzuki and Caulfield? My dog likes that idea, I guess, and hopefully she'll stop barging. So I talked about this possibility in a video last month. In my opinion, he'd be a great addition for the 2 kids on the first line. The experience and the stuff he could teach them, and he's not too bad either. The verdict is out on whether it could happen or not. But now the verdict seems to be in, and the answer is not. And it's for a few reasons. Number one, Perron wants to stay in St. Louis, so that's pretty big. And number two, St. Louis wants to keep Perron, and will find a way to do that. And I know they got this cap issues there. He's not going to be cheap, and they'll find a way to do it if they want to keep him. And number three, Habs can't afford him as of right now. So even though that could change in the near future, but they can't afford him right now. He'd be a great addition, but how do they pay him? What he'd be asking, which I figure is somewhere between $5.5 to $7 million. And how many years I don't know much term he'd be asking for either. So it's too bad. He'd be great for the 2 kids at Caulfield and Suzuki. I think he'd be great, but I don't see it happening. And considering their direction right now, and it's not a win right now situation, they don't need him there. But he'd be great to help develop Suzuki and Caulfield. So a really interesting trade proposal involving Hughes and the Montreal Canadiens, which again is kind of misleading and vague, but how the Habs could trade up into a second top 15 pick. That's what it's talking about. And it's from a tweet here by Blaine Potvin, who is a writer for the Hockey Writers and somebody I follow on Twitter. If Hughes were to package pick 26 and 33, it may give him enough value to move into the top 15. If there's a prospect there he really covets, I don't see how there wouldn't be a prospect there that they probably would like to get. Whether they want to do that at the cost of those 2 picks. Ray, can you stop barking? Because I'm doing a video. So I say if you add a sweetener, like maybe a Matthias Norlinder, who I've got a gut feeling they might trade him to do this kind of thing. Or Logan Mailloux, who we just talked about, you might get into the top 5 or 10 with 2 picks, right? Montreal's first pick and wherever they can get in there who'd be interested. Jeff Gorton has done stuff like this before with the Rangers, so it's definitely possible. There are a lot of good prospects in the top of the first round to go along with Slavkovsky and Cooley. There's names like Kemmel, Nemec, Jiricek, Savoie, Nazar, Geeky, etc. Getting Shane Wright and one of those other kids in the first round would be like Christmas in July, literally.
At coolhockey.com, you'll find your favorite team's officially licensed jersey. Blank, pre-sewn, or hand-sewn. Your favorite team, your favorite player's name and number on the back. Or hey, put your own name on the back. Competitive pricing, custom stitching, fast shipping. Coolhockey.com. Tell them Talkin' Habs sent you. Click the link in the description of this video. Coolhockey.com.
And there you go. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comment section what you think about anything that I talked about here. And, oh, hey, check out that video that's popping up in the corner. So till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. Bye, everybody. See you soon. Ciao.